talk about Alex Jones real quick because a judge announced that he has to pay back over $900 million in damages as a result of his Sandy Hook shooting reporting, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was nuts. I'm like, 900
Never
million?
in the history of the world.
Yo, the person who the person who got fined the most out of the 2008 housing crisis only got fined $60 million.
And that's for a crime.
That was, you get what I'm saying?
That was crime.
Yeah.
So his crime here was he caused pain. Mm-hmm. That's like me saying the moon landing didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they go, Black Dot, we bringing you into court because all of them astronauts and their families, right? You caused them mental stress by saying the moon landed. And then they say, prove it, Dot. And I go, well, I can't prove, but I think they didn't land on the moon. And you see all of them old people and their grandkids. My grandpa Armstrong did land on the moon. And now they fine me $100 million.
Yeah.
Because I hurt their feelings. That's the crime here.
Yeah.
And it sets a precedence because who are the greatest conspiracy so-called theorists on the planet? Us. Who is the ones trying to search alternative information? Us. Who has the cojones to step on a podcast at any given time and be like, all that's bullshit? Us. Right? So to me, that is a direct shot at us.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
9 times out of 10, we get our money through PayPal in some capacity. So if you're gonna be starting to be charged $2,500, I can't afford $2,500 because I said some wild, crazy shit.
Yeah, because Jay Nightman said people were showing up to some of the family funerals harassing them. That could be very true.
Right, because everyone has minions.
Yeah,
So
and he has a huge audience.
He got a huge audience, and they were showing up at these empty caskets funerals.
Hey, man.
Allegedly.
Okay, that was a joke. I don't really know, but in the event, what crime other than his opinion on something was broken?
Think about what this.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the people died or they didn't die.
Think about what happened.
What crime?
Yeah, just think about what happens, right? And I was talking to you earlier about this again. In the conscious community, whether you want to admit it or not, who you follow or not, who you believe or not.
No, that was not a typo by PayPal. Their stock started dropping immediately.
Yeah.
And then they walked it back.
Because some coders found out that they were working on that since September, and it lined up with the original date that they were saying that they're gonna roll this out.
Thank you.
Yeah, like a bunch of people on the internet. You can't really hide nothing anymore.
Yeah, you can't hide nothing.
Right? But what I was saying is, in the conscious community, no matter who you follow, there is an unspoken understanding between everybody, right? That not what we're saying is true, but that there could be some truth to it, right? There could be 4 steps to it, and if I can show you 3 parts of this is true, then you should be able to kind of lead to that 4th part and understand, right? And I only say this because what they did with Alex Jones is he said something about crisis actors, but all of that could be very true at some of these things. I saw some of the pictures. I'm like, oh, that is crazy.
That is kind of crazy, right?
But some real people died.
Right.
So now you have to prove that this was fake. He can't prove that himself.
Right.
So now you're liable for all of it. So we can't prove. How can we prove a lot of stuff we talk about? We can't.
I can't literally prove it.
But there is an unspoken understanding that something's not right, and that we know that. Now that's why when a lot of people from the conscious community, when they go up on these white platforms,
they get slaughtered.
They get killed. And I'm gonna Tariq Nasheed went on Brilliant Idiots podcast like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And Andrew Schultz, he kept talking about systemic white supremacy, and he just kept rattling off like terms, stuff that we understand and we know we live is true.
Yes.
And he's saying, prove that.
Right.
The entire time, he just like, how you know that?
Because when you become a master debater, you argue the facts, and when you can no longer argue the facts, you know what you do? You argue.
Yeah.
So how can I prove? We collectively could know the moon landing was some bullshit. How can I prove it? I can't.
You can't, right? We could say we could talk about the pandemic, we could say all of that, but we can't. We just have a collective understanding of what happened,
right?
And our common sense is supposed to just lead us into those answers. So what's happening is all of that. The government, whoever the powers, they don't want any of that talk now.
That's like me saying,
yeah,
John F. Kennedy wasn't shot by a lone gunman. That bullet didn't hit him in the front of the head, the back of the head, and his knee, go up his spine, down his back, and it was a lone gunman. I think collectively, based on the information, we can all agree. But in the history books, what does it say?
Mm-hmm. He was shot from grassy knoll.
9/11.
Oh, yeah.
What? Let's look at that. What does it say?
Yeah.
And you got to be a goofy, you got to be a quantum goofy to think that that was the official story they giving you, right?
Yeah.
But I can't prove it.
Yeah.
I can't prove that 16 Muslims collectively at the same time hijacked 4 planes.
After practicing on shit.
After practicing on crop dusters.
Crop dusted planes,
with carpet cutters and wrestled the plane and knew the coordinates to fly them shits into monumental buildings.
Yeah.
Black mass, man, it's time to rob. I had to find a way, I couldn't find it.
Hey, what's up? If you like what you just saw and you want to see the full, uncut, raw, uncensored podcast, hit the link below. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the entire year. Get all of the content, get Black Dot in his rawest form, get a bunch of exclusive content never before seen by anybody else, and you can only be a member to see it.
Become a member now. Click the link below. Peace.